Hello everyone and welcome to Talk Sport on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. And again, drum roll, yes, the EPL is back and we saw lots of actions yesterday where Arsenal defeated Fulham 2-1 and also Nottingham Forest, pulling off an upset at Manchester United by defeating them 1-0. And who did the scoring? Anthony Alagna did the scoring. The player that was traded by Ruben Amorim when he arrived Manchester United. We'll be having these conversations and more on today's edition of Talk Sports as we tend to x-ray and dive into different sectors or different sporting activities. So we'll be doing a whole lot of talking today and we'll be starting from the home front where cricket. We'll be starting with cricket where Nigerians seeks first under-19 Men's World Cup qualifying win. They started off just this past weekend. Let me bring you up to speed with the current reports. Nigerian Yellow and Green will face Kenya in their third game of the 2026 ICC under-19 Men's World Cup African qualifiers in Lagos State later today, as they will be hoping to get their first win of the tournament. The winners of the qualifying series will pick the sole ticket for World Cup, which will be played in Namibia and Zimbabwe. 2026 and in 2026, and that seems to be out of reach of the Yellow and Greens, who lost their first two games. They began the tournament last Friday with a nailing 10-run defeat against Namibia and failed to bounce back in their second game against Tanzania, which they lost by 122 runs. No thanks to a poor net run rate as well, the Junior Yellow and Greens are currently bottom of their table with no points, but a quest for pride will perhaps begin against Kenya when they have a chance to win one or two matches. But if they can win, at least they'll have a bragging right, but it's going to be very difficult for them to defeat Kenya. Kenya, whether winning or not, they have already qualified based on the fact that they've won two matches. So looking at it now, the Yellow and Greens is hanging in balance, and we're not certain what the future holds for them if they would be able to make it all through to the ICC under-19 Men's World Cup that will kickstart by next year, 2026. So just see, that means it's just a wake-up call for the men's Yellow and Green to work harder and then prepare for the next coming competitions that they might want to feature in. Based on that fact, we've seen the ladies, under-19 ladies of the Yellow and Greens, performing exceptionally well and moving to the 2025 ICC World Cup that was played in Malaysia and getting all through to the quarterfinals, emerging and coming back home with bronze medal. We saw them doing the same in All African Games that was played in Ghana, that was held in Ghana, and then they also emerged and came back with the third place position. So kudos to the Yellow and Greens. We know there's this sport, cricket, is just being adopted gradually in this continent, and Nigeria is beginning to pay more attention to it. And then for us to come this far, I think it's a whole lot of improvement, and then we're looking forward to them getting more results and preparing more. So moving away from cricket, Basketball African League is around the corner. It will be kickstarting season 5 of Basketball African League, which is, the acronym is actually BAL. Everything you need to know for season 5, which will be kickstarted this weekend. The 2025 Basketball African League Season 5 will tip off on the 5th of April for the first time in BAL history. Games will take place in Rabat, Morocco, as part of the NBA's partnership with FIBA. This season features the top club teams from 12 African countries playing 48 games in 4 different locations across the continent of Africa. Games are going to be played in different locations. Locations include Rabat, Morocco, Kigali, Rwanda, and Senegal. Post-season matchups will be played in Pretoria, South Africa, marking the first year for the finals, which will be held outside Kigali. And of course, yes, looking at the BAL African League, everything you need to know. Basically, there've been a change. Before now, the season 1, season 2, and season 3, and also season 4 were all played in Kigali from the start to the finish. So there's a mix-up and there's a switch of everything happening now based on the NBA Africa partnership with FIBA. So now other countries of Africa will be hosting as well. We'll be seeing Morocco, we'll be seeing Senegal, we'll be seeing Rwanda, and also Pretoria, South Africa. That's where the finals will be played. So it's going to be very interesting. And then the adaptation of basketball here in Africa is something that is now being widely appreciated and also celebrated. So still talking about Basketball African League, Rivers Hoopers, who will be representing Nigeria, are also ready, and they are in Lagos. They've been in Lagos since Sunday. Rivers Hoopers intensify their BAL preparation. Six-time Nigerian champions, Rivers Hoopers are in Lagos to continue their preparation for the 5th season of Basketball African League, which dunks off conference playoffs on Saturday, April 5th. Yes, the Kingsmen arrived in Lagos Sunday and would be involved in some friendly games before departing for Rabat, Morocco on Wednesday. That means they will be leaving later today to go get themselves ready. The 2024 BAL bronze medalists are drawn in Kalaharian Conference, where they will play against FUSU Rabat of Morocco, Egypt's Al Litad, and Saudi Malien of Mali at the Prince Paula Abdahal Sports Complex in Rabat, Morocco. Rivers Hoopers will open their campaign this season against Saudi Malien of Mali on Saturday, April 5th. The team has also completed the signing of 5 players ahead of the new season to achieve their target. Canadian-born Nigerian combo guard Kelvin Amayo, as well as Peter Olisemeke, who is currently playing for the Tigers, who were instrumental to the team's historic 3rd place finish at the last edition, made a return to the team. Kingsmen also signed the Republic of Congo's point guard Maxi Sherman, South Sudan's small forward Madot Akud, and American rebel Putney also were the new addition to the squad. Rivers Hoopers will be making their 3rd appearance at the 2025 BAL. They will feature the inaugural season held in 2021 and last season edition, where they finished 3rd place after setting a Nigerian record last year. Rivers Hoopers coach Ogon Dauda had said that the team's ambition at this year's BAL was to go one better by reaching the final or even winning the conference trophy. So that is what Rivers Hoopers are about currently, and they are now ready to go all the way out. With this latest addition from the we are seeing is going to hopefully get them to the finals and also, emerge victorious. We saw how instrumental they were last season, getting all through to the quarterfinals and then getting knocked out by the Moroccans. So we hope to see a different approach for them. We hope to see that they will be able to have the mix that they need to be able to make it all through to the final. So Rivers Hoopers are 6 times Nigerian champions. They are champions in Nigeria and still current defending champions of Nigeria. So they have found themselves in experiences like this, and then hopefully, when they get to that certain point, the quarterfinal stage where they got knocked out last season, that would be able to scale through and get it all through to the semi-finals and also get to Pretoria, South Africa to go participate in the finals. We are all cheering for Rivers Hoopers and cheering to the NBA and FIBA for making all of this possible. So we'll be bringing you more updates on what's going on in the NBA, in the BAL African Basketball African League that will be kickstarting this weekend. So moving away from BAL, let's have conversations around the NBA, where Joker sets NBA record in 61 points haul. 3 times MVP, claimed 10 rebounds and 10 assists in a 140-139 overtime defeat by Minnesota Timberwolves at the Ball Arena. The previous record was held by Denver Nuggets teammate Russell Westbrook, who scored 57 points and made 13 rebounds and 11 assists for Oklahoma City Thunder in the year 2017. Westbrook, who joined the Nuggets in 2024, missed a layup in the 10 seconds remaining in the overtime, with Nuggets leading 139 and to 138 as the time was winding down. But then Russell Westbrook then fouled Nikola Alexander-Walker in trying to block a 3-point attempt with 0.1 second on the clock. Alexander-Walker made 2 of the 3 free throws to seal a dramatic a dramatic Timberwolves victory. They were without Naz Reid and Donta DiVincenzo, who were serving 1-month ban for their past in a brawl with Detroit Pistons this past week. Timberwolves are 7th in the Western Conference and Nuggets are the 3rd. And these two teams will say face up each other in the NBA playoffs, which will be kickstarting on the 19th of April. Moving on, still talking NBA, Stephen Curry surpasses Jerry West, but we'll be having all of this conversation immediately after this break. Please do stay with us. Yes, many thanks for staying with us. This is still Talk Sport on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Now, Stephen Curry passes Jerry West, pioneer, with new feat with 52.5 steal in one night. Stephen Curry came back again with his magic after being a couple of days out due to a tailbone injury. Stephen Curry scored 52 points, including 12 of three-pointers. This is one of the major reasons why he's the all-time three-point scorer as we stand in the NBA, to surpass Jerry West for the 25th on the NBA all-time scoring list, while making additional entries in the record books along the way in Golden State Warriors 134 to 125 win over Memphis. This was played early hours of Wednesday morning. Already the league's all-time leading scorer made three-pointers. In three-pointers, Curry joins the top 25 scorers in NBA history. Reggie Miller, whom Curry surpassed on the all-time three-points made in 2021, is next upon the all-time scoring list as number 24. Alex English, Vince Carter, Kevin Garnett, and Russell Westbrook round out in the 20 through 25 group. So looking at all of this now, Stephen Curry has surpassed Jerry Miller in all of this scoring list. Now he's top 25 scorers of the NBA, but still sitting down on the throne of the all-time three-point scorers. And Stephen Curry has been superb. Due to his tailbone injury, he was out for a couple of games, but coming back, going to play away from home, winning on the road against a team like Memphis, it was something that is very, very superb. And then this shows the powers of Stephen Curry, and it's just feels as if Stephen Curry was never gone, coming back from a tailbone injury and dropping 12 of three-pointers. That means he had a wonderful night, scoring from deep all through the night. So surpassing Jerry West for the 25th on the NBA all-time scoring list, while making additional entries in the record books along the way in Golden State Warriors win. So this is just what we know Stephen Curry to be about. And then all of these results that we are seeing is actually not surprising, because the playoffs is around the corner. Jokic dropping 61 points. Anthony Edwards dropping 30 plus points over the win. Over the win they just had against Denver Nuggets. We're seeing all of these players putting up numbers, setting up goals, and setting up targets, and setting up history, breaking histories, and setting up new ones on a daily basis. This is what we'll be expecting all through the month of April and all through the month of May, until the end of the NBA playoffs. You'll be seeing records being set, records being broken, history being made, and that is what the NBA is all about. So with BAL competition coming up this weekend, in the next couple of weeks, again, we'll be seeing the NBA playoffs will be kick-starting, and then here locally in Abuja, we'll be witnessing Abuja City League, Basketball City League, which will be kickstarting on the 12th of April. So this month of April is actually packed. So we have the EPL. There's just a whole lot of sporting things going on this month of April, and you know, as the months unfold. So there's just a whole lot that will be happening in the world of sports, and Trust will be bringing you all of those updates. So moving away from Stephen Curry, we are still talking the NBA. NBA monthly awards goes to Zachariah Richard, who is a rookie, and then the players of the month: OKC Thunder guard Shai Alexander and Chicago Bulls guard Kobe White have been named the Kia NBA Western and Eastern Conference Players of the Month for the game played in the month of March. Western Conference, Shai Alexander led the Thunders to a NBA best of 15-1 record, including a perfect 7-0 road record win. He leads the NBA in scoring during March, and with 34.7 points per game to go along with 7.4 assists, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.4 steals. So looking at this now, this is actually the defensive player of the month. You know, the defensive player for the Western Conference went to Draymond Green, who plays for the Golden State Warriors, you know, ranked at the 14th in the NBA with 4 NBA ratings, and also a 4-time NBA champion. So we have Dylan Daniels, who plays for the Hawks, who also is the Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the month of March. So looking at all of this now, in the Eastern Conference, White posted an average of 27.7 points, 9th in the NBA in the month of March, 4.7 rebounds. That's Shai and Alexander, who are currently the 2 best players according to the month of March, according to reports. Shai is the conference player of the month for the month of March, and then that's for the Western Conference. And then for the Eastern Conference, we see Chicago Bulls, Kobe White, who is currently the player of the month for the Eastern Conference. So looking at it, is the East and the West always. So the same thing will be happening in the NBA playoffs, which will be starting soon. We'll be seeing the East and the West going at it to be able to know which team is going to emerge as champions for the 2024-2025 NBA season. So we'll be looking at all of those things. Draymond Green, current defensive player of the month, and then this is just something that we know Draymond Green to be about when it comes to scoring and also posing, and as well as being leading in assists and also having stops, steals, and also currently one of those leading in blocks in the NBA. So moving away from basketball, let's go as the EPL is back and Premier League is here, and they are set to begin to use the semi-automated offside technology from the 12th of April. The Premier League will use semi-automated offside technology for the first time in matches starting from April the 12th. The system made its debut in English football in 7 of 8 FA fifth-round ties in the month of March. Following additional non-living tests in the Premier League, the technology has now been cleared for use in the top flight. Semi-automated offside technology is designed to improve accuracy of tight offside calls by making part of the process automatic. Virtual offside lines and graphics will be used alongside optical players tackling for those watching at home or in a stadium. VAR officials check that the system has followed the process correctly before confirming the decision to the referee, who then informs the players. Technology was first used at the elite level in 2022 World Cup in Qatar and has also featured in the Champions League Serie A and also in the La Liga. There have been a whole lot of rafts. Some individuals are still not happy about this current use of technology to rule out upside and all, but still it's a global stage, and again, innovations and technology, new things are coming on a daily, but still it's actually going to help players to be more clinical, help coaches to readdress and also have a different feel of tactics that they'll use to make sure that they don't always fall victim for offside calls and all of those incidents that always tend to happen when players are playing. So we'll be looking at all of those, and then crucial how effective VAR have been. And though there are a few errors that have been spotted by VAR, and some analysts have spotted a few errors that VAR has caused during matches. So we will see how all of those things now, and this new introduction of the semi-automated offside technology from April 12th, we'll see how all of this would help out and solve the problem that is currently ongoing. Would help out and solve the problem that is currently ongoing in the EPL. So we'll see how all of that unfolds. Starting April 12th, this initiative will take place. So moving away from that, Nottingham Forest defeated Manchester United 1-0. Yes, Nottingham Forest took a huge steps towards Champions League qualification on Tuesday with a 1-0 win over Manchester United at the City Ground. Anthony Legna fired Forest ahead inside 5 minutes of the night, devastating his former side with a sensational solo run on the counter-attack, as the Red Devils prepared and probed for an equalizer. Nuno Espirito Santos side defended superbly to hold on their third clean sheet in 4 Premier League outings, extending their lead on Chelsea to 8 points ahead of Thursday's match with Tottenham at the Stamford Bridge. So looking at it now, there've been a few and there've been a change on the Premier League log as it stands now. So we are going to be having that conversation. Still talking EPL. Saka marks returns with goal as Arsenal huge edges Fulham 2-1. Arsenal winger Bukayo Saka made a triumphant return from a 101-day injury layoff, scoring his first game back to help the Gunners secure a 2-1 victory over Fulham in the Premier League. Saka, who had been sidelined with an injury since December, found the net in the 73rd minute, finishing off well-placed assist from Gabriel Martinelli to put Arsenal 2 goals ahead of the Emirates Stadium. The home side had taken the lead in the 37th minute through Mikel Marino, who converted an assist from Eden Murray. So looking at this now, Arsenal controlled possession, enjoying 52% of the ball and registering 4 shots on target compared to Fulham's 3. So looking at all of this now, like I rightly mentioned earlier, there have been a change in the EPL table, and then we'll be having the breakdown and what is expected as, more matches and features will be coming up from later today, tomorrow, and this next weekend. But we'll be going on a quick break, and then when we return back, I'll bring you the standings of the EPL and also the features for today, tomorrow, and also the weekend. Stay with us. Yes, many thanks for staying with us. Now, let's look at the EPL table standings, because a whole lot is happening in the EPL now. The season is coming to an end. Each teams are trying to see how well they can be able to advance and finish. Some are looking to, make it through to the Champions League, some to the Europa, and then some, will still maintain their level at either the Championship or they'll still be at the EPL. So now I'll be starting from the EPL table, the standings, of course, Liverpool sitting with 70 points with 29 games played. Arsenal following suit with 61 points with 30 games played. Nottingham Forest with 57 points in the third place. And then we have Chelsea in the fourth position with 59 points. And then Manchester City following Chelsea back-to-back with 29 games played with 48 points. Newcastle United with 28 games played having 47 points. Brighton having 47 points as well. So we will see other standings where we have seen Liverpool looking very comfortable, having one game in hand, which is still an advantage. And then we have Arsenal too, who have played 30 games, have I think a couple of games more left that would be played. So we'll be looking at how this switch is going to happen, because now Nottingham Forest are very key to qualifying to the Champions League, and then maintaining this spot, this number 3 position, or finding their way luckily somehow climbing to the second position, would also solidify their stay, and then they'll be clear off to make it through to the Champions League. But looking at Manchester City now as it stands, they have a injury worry. They've had injury worries all through the season. Now a new injury case has arose for Haaland, who is currently going to be out for the next 7 weeks. So this is also a challenge for Pep Guardiola and the entire Manchester City. So the next thing now, we'll see how to play out, because now getting to win the EPL now is totally out of it for them. FA Cup, they might be able to find a way around it and then win that title. But now, qualifying for the Champions League now is another thing that Manchester City are looking to see if they would be able to find their way all through and then get into the Champions League. But now, currently, from the standings now between Chelsea and Manchester City, if Chelsea can win two of their next couple of games, and then Manchester City tails behind without winning all of their games or getting a draw, they might still maintain that they're number 5th position. But if they can overthrow Chelsea and find their way on the 4th position of the Premier League log, then there's a high chance for them to make it through to the Champions League. Let's look at the other second standings, where we have Brentford sitting with 41 points, Crystal Palace with 39 points, Manchester United with 37 points, Tottenham Hotspur with 34 points, Everton with 34 points, West Ham also with 34 points, the Wolves also with 29 points, Ipswich 17 points, Southampton having 9 points. So looking at this now, the relegation side, Ipswich and Southampton, they are looking as if they'll be going back to they'll be relegated back to the Championship, and automatically this standings doesn't look so well for them. Leicester City also will be going back to the Championship, because they are also left with 29 games played, 17 points, 29 games played, 17 points, 29 games played, and then 9 points. So automatically they are going back to the Championship side with this current relegation phase that they are in as it stands. So looking at all of these angles now as it stands, Leicester City are having injury worries. Now, the star man of that team who locks up their midfield, Wilfred Ndidi, is looking to exit come the end of this season. But now, people have argued that he wouldn't be able to make it because of the fact that he wouldn't be able to move, because of the fact that if he leaves Leicester City, more eyes is going to be on him. More eyes meaning that he would need to, be performing at that same level. And if he can't perform at that same level, his performance at Leicester City from the Championship brought them back to the EPL, and then somehow they relegated due to injury worries, and then they make it all through. Manchester United still having injury worries, and also player and stadium and management worries. All of those things are attributed to the fact that they are struggling. Marcus Rashford, who is currently on loan with Aston Villa, has found the back of the net and is getting back to this winning way, scoring more goals and getting more confidence. Now there's a clause that requires either him coming back to Manchester United, or he could decide to remain permanently at Aston Villa, or he'll be moving away to a different team. So all of these options now are open come the end of the summer, and then we'll see the kind of decisions that players will be making for themselves. On the other hand, still talking transfers now, we have Victor Osimhen, who is on the radar of Barcelona, based on the fact that Lewandowski has advanced and then he's looking forward to retirement and the international football. So Barcelona are looking for a replacement of a striker. They are looking at Ademola Lookman and also looking at Victor Boniface, who would come into the mix and help out. But the Lasatare now are making facts and saying that Victor Osimhen is going nowhere based on the fact that he is very crucial, and again he has been very, very exceptional. I think that word is best to use based on his current performance for both the Super Eagles and also his club side. So there's a release clause for him to be sold at 75 million euros if Barcelona will be willing to make that payment. But there's something we've known for Barcelona, for them to always want to make payments and get any player that they want that can deliver. So Victor Osimhen is currently on their radar. Ademola Lookman is also on their radar, who would also come from the flank and support the attacking force. So we are seeing all of these angles now being panned out and then being open. So we will see how all of that will play out at the end of the summer. So moving away from all of these conversations now, Gabriel's hamstring injury is a major huge blow basically for Arsenal. The cost of hamstring injuries at Arsenal does not seem to end. Excitement prior to their 2-1 victory over Fulham on Tuesday night center on Bukayo Saka's return. His 3-month absence of a hamstring tear, which required surgery, had been sorely felt by the Gunners, who have fell out of Premier League title contention in that time. Yet the boost of seeing him subtled on the 66 minutes and scoring his return Ghana as a reception fit for a royal form of home crowd was dependent by an accord in the first half, where Gabriel, Arsenal's shining light in the back line this season, had pulled off clutching the back of his right leg with a hamstring injury. He was assembled off the pitch and went straight down to the tunnel, for the issues have come too soon before their 2-goal Champions League quarter-final tie against Real Madrid. The first leg next Tuesday is crucial. The North London club's hopes were already somewhat in the circumstances. The competition is the Gunners' last real hope for silverware this season without Gabriel. It's hard to see him return in such a short time frame. Their chances of progression is badly slashed. So looking at Gabriel now, who is currently out due to hamstring injury, is something that is actually going to affect this Arsenal side negatively. They've actually been, when the draw was made, the Champions League draw was made, when it was actually made and then seen Real Madrid facing Arsenal, automatically it's a problem, because looking at the standings, looking at the current team of Arsenal and looking at the current team of Real Madrid, there is no how. Looking at the coaches, let's start from the coaches. Like Ancelotti and Mikel Arteta can't even be in the same room having conversations of who is a better coach. So Arsenal have a big problem, which is Real Madrid as it stands. Now they have a bigger problem with Gabriel, who is going to be absent. So we know how Real Madrid are when it comes to attacking. They attack they can attack from the flanks, coming from the right and from the left, and they can also attack from the midfield. So having Vinicius Junior, having Rodrigo, having Kylian Mbappe, and also having Jude Bellingham, Rodri, looking at the backline now, having Gallagher and all of these guys now is actually going to be a problem for Arsenal. Now their defense line, one of the strongest, and then, like it was rightly mentioned, the shining light of the back line of Arsenal have been injured. Now how would Arsenal be able to manage all of this? It's going to be a very big problem, but reports are yet to be out on how long Gabriel will be out for, and then we would see how he will be able to maneuver and see if he will be able to find his way back to playing in the next features that will be happening starting from today, tomorrow and next. But next week Tuesday is going to be a very, very crucial match for Arsenal, and we'll see how all of that will pan out. We'll be going on a quick break, and then when we return back, we will get you the features of the matches that we played later today and what to expect tomorrow. Stay with us. Okay, now we have the features and it's still looking very interesting. So we'll see how all of that will pan out. Like the EPL table is changing, just like the Nigerian Professional Football League standings are changing, but still Romeo Stars are still leading the pack with around 57 points as it stands. So now let's look at it. Liverpool leading the EPL with 70 points. Now let's look at the standings. Liverpool have a game that will be coming up later today, and there are other teams that will be having games too. So we have Southampton will be facing Crystal Palace as at 7:45. Southampton will be playing at home. Newcastle also playing at home at the same time against Brighton. Manchester City, who will be playing Leicester City, and also Brighton, who will also be facing Aston Villa. Bournemouth will also be facing Ipswich, and then Liverpool would host Everton at 8 p.m. So Manchester City now, this is an avenue. Some persons have argued that this is a must-win match for Manchester City. With that now, if they get to win this point, if they get to win this match, automatically they are going up by currently sitting with 48 points and Chelsea sitting with 49 points. So if Manchester City can get a win, maybe a 2-1 win, a 1-0 win, automatically they have advanced. If they get a 3-point, they've advanced to 51 points, and then Chelsea will be tailing them behind with 2 points. If Chelsea now plays Tottenham tomorrow and loses or plays a draw, still their hope to go into the Champions League will be hanging in balance. So Brighton looking comfortably facing Aston Villa, Liverpool, Everton. This is going to be a derby. This is going to be a London derby because there's always a rivalry going on between Liverpool and Everton. So we'll see how all of that will be panning out as the games unfold later today. So Liverpool are looking to extend their winnings and also sit very comfortably on the throne of the EPL table. They don't want to take chances, unlike what has been happening for the last five years with Manchester City winning the games with either 1 point or 2 points. So Liverpool are changing the narratives now, sitting with 70 points and 29 games played, still gives them a higher advantage for them to increase their lead. We are seeing Arsenal tailing them behind also with 61 points, but that doesn't seem to be a concern. So Crystal Palace, Southampton obviously are now relegated. So we'll see whatever they win, whether they win or not. If they get to win, they have 9 points. If they win, it's going to leave them with 11 points, which will still drop them at the bottom of the EPL standings. So as it stands, Southampton have found their way straight all through to the Championship. But if an upset gets to be pulled by Leicester City against Manchester City, then it's actually going to show that Leicester City have a chance of still fighting in the EPL for next season. They are currently having 27 points. If they get to win Manchester City, then automatically they'll be having 30 points with still around 7 more games at hand to play. So if they can have an unbeaten run and win 7 more games, it shows that they will still, have a place to be at the EPL and also perform there come next season. So this is what the standings are looking like for today, and we'll definitely get you all the results of all of these actions that will be played later tonight. This is how much time will permit us to take on today's edition of Talk Sports. My name is Samuel Udi. I'll see you again as we talk more sports. Bye for now.